everybody, and welcome back to Womiba Finance channel. My name is Onyinye, and today I'll be telling you the easiest way to come to Canada as a teacher, and I will break down the processes. And I want to ask you for a favor. Please stay till the end of this video because I'll explain the pure route to the direct entry to Canada to get your PR, because these teaching jobs in Canada, you must have PR because they are federal work, jobs. So, and this federal skilled work program. So you are coming to work for government because this is the federal government rule, which means you will be coming under high skilled program, which will determine that you will have some certain licenses. So please pay attention. You can get a pen and paper. I will show some of the things in the screen. You can get pen and paper and start noting things down. Again, I will still explain the direct route that can favor you. If you are prepared to study for some time, then to get into the teaching ladder in Canada, then stick with me. I will make it easy for you. Okay, number one, what is teaching job? All of us know. If you are watching me and you've studied in school, you've known who is a teacher. Somebody that helps us, somebody that can help somebody to break down a subject, blah, 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 depending on your own definition. Because some people will now argue that mothers are teachers as well, and parents are teachers, even father, mother, sisters, aunties. Okay, everybody's a teacher. But now you've gone to school to get qualification to become a certified teacher, meaning that your job role is a teacher. Okay, now, what are the ways to come to Canada as a teacher? It's only one way. Because you are a skilled worker, you are under an OCOA. Then B for assistant teachers that are unqualified. So pay attention, because this teaching, this thing is rigorous. Nothing is easier than this one. So you have to pay attention. I'll be looking down because I have to break it down as much as I can so that you can understand it, because this YouTube channel, I want to make it easier for people to understand it, because this video is on popular demand, so everybody can understand it. So I will break it down, I promise that. So I'll be looking down to make sure what I'm telling you is the right thing I have researched. I've called even Georgia University yesterday, so I've made extensive research for this video, so bear with me. Now we can move on. So now maybe you've gone to school in your country, maybe Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, Togo, Cameroon, Morocco, Egypt, Libya, Sudan, South Sudan, everywhere in Africa. You've gone to school. Malawi, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Everywhere in Africa, you've gone to school. Then you've gotten a qualification as a teacher. In Nigeria, that's what they call NCE, National College of Education. There's a qualification there that is, a step below degree certificate, which is bachelor, BE.Ed. So I will explain that everything in this video so that I will not have any questions again. Oh, I studied this BEd, I want to go to Canada. I will explain everything to you. But let me start for people who are qualified teachers in their countries in Africa. Now, in this Africa, you want to go to Canada as a teacher. The first and the foremost thing you have to do is to get prepared, save some money, have up to 1,000 Canadian dollars because there are many tests and the examinations you have to do. I have to explain the money bit first. Before you come into Canada as a teacher, there are many things to be paid for. Now, I say 1,000 Canadian dollars is to cover some cost. I'll be telling you now because you need some license, you need certification, you need things, you need to gather things. This is excluding all the running around for transcript and stuff like that. But this 1,000 Canadian dollars I have said that you should save is to prepare you from inside Canada to come to Canada. So get that. So let's start. I'll break it into 4 parts. I'll explain these 4 parts because I will explain the job in Canada and who you will be working for. I will explain the teaching demand. I will explain the requirements. Then I will explain the processes. So this video is divided into 4 parts. Please bear with me. Okay, number 1, you will be coming under what they call FSWP, which is Federal Skilled Work Program. Because as a teacher, you will be under the federal government of Canada. And to be under federal government of Canada and to come in as their worker, you have to come in with PR, Permanent Resident Permit. Okay, now I will explain this Permanent Resident Permit so that you will not get confused as time goes on. So what do you need for your PR? I will give you now. Because you're coming as a teacher, first of all, in your PR, you have to be applying as a teacher, that you want to be a teacher. Then to apply as a to apply for this PR, the minimum qualification is B.Ed, Bachelor of Education. Maybe if you're from Nigeria, you've done National College of Education certification. That is the highest degree the highest certificate you have. You need to go and complete and do B.Ed. The minimum qualification to teach in Canada is B.Ed. The higher the qualification, if you have Masters in Education, better. The higher the qualification, the higher chances of getting PR because it will increase your score. That is the idea. The PR score and all that. Okay, let's go to CRS code for teachers, which is 600. You have to score 600 points. Okay, these points now, what makes it up as a teacher? Now you've known in this first as a FSWP worker that you need PR and you need to score 600. So we now go to demand. Is teaching jobs, are they in demand? Yes. There are provinces that need teachers, thousands of teachers, more than 100,000 of teachers. I will shoot you. Alberta, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing these words right. Please, Alberta, you might see it in the screen. Ontario, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, British Columbia. These 5 provinces are the provinces that have program under federal government skilled working program for teachers. If you apply today, you will get a response immediately because they need teachers as soon as, but it's a rigorous step. Now you have known the 5 provinces that have, high demand of teaching. Then let's get into the requirements. So now, the first requirement I said is you have to have permanent resident permit. I've said the score that will guarantee you to get this permanent resident. Okay, number two, you have to apply for this PR. And to prepare you to apply for this PR, to get this score, we'll now get down to the point. You have to have bachelor. Be writing it down, please. You have to have bachelor degree in education. That's the minimum requirement for the FSWP. If you have National College of Education, you will still get a job as assistant teaching role. It is not qualified teaching job. It is below qualified teaching job. But you still have to have PR because you are in NOC B. Teachers are in 0A. So it is lower. Now you have to get down to the things that will require money. Then things you have to make sure that you have is 2 to 3 minimum teaching experience post BEd. Post BEd. That's Bachelor in Education, I mean to say. Then having this Bachelor of Education will now help you to get transcripts from the school that you graduated from. The transcript is what you need with your certificate. Then you need to have 760 Canadian dollars to apply for teaching license. And this teaching license needs to be renewed yearly with 170 Canadian dollars. We are getting there. Okay. Then provincial certificate. I mentioned provinces. Alberta, Saskatchewan. Please forgive me for this pronunciation. British Columbia, Manitoba, and Ontario. These are the 5 provinces. So you need provincial certification course. Then after you've done this, you paid for this course, you will now do it online. It takes 3 to 6 months to do. And you have to pay 300 to 400 Canadian dollars. I don't know whether this thing have changed yesterday. These prices I'm quoting here. Because you need to make sure that you pay for this, register online, start doing it online. Without it as a teacher, you can still come to Canada under teaching assistant role. Then you don't need license. But I'm talking of the full teacher that wants to come to Canada and start teaching as a teacher, qualified licensed teacher. Will have to register for these courses and do it online. Then IELTS that you will do to get up to Canadian language 7 points is the academics. Let me repeat. You will do the IELTS is academia. It's not the general one, it's the academic one that you have to do. You have to get score 7 points minimum. Then maths proficiency certificates. You need maths proficiency certificate. You can still do it online. I will tag some links in the screen and you'll be seeing it. You will still do some online. I have said the courses you need to do online and you need to pay for it. Then what's the process of this teaching job, because you need teaching license for a province to give you job offer letter. Because you need job offer letter, you need to write this exam, pay for it, pay for the registration, which is 700 and something pounds, something Canadian dollars, to get the teaching license. So when you start applying for PR, you need teaching license, IETLs, maths proficiency test, and the job offer. The provincial certificates have to come when you have submitted your license application and passed the exam and certificates. Then you are now ready to now seek for jobs. When you have gotten provincial approval to seek for job, you will now get a job offer letter direct from school. Then you will now add it to, let me repeat it again. You add it to the teaching license you have gotten after you have done the provincial teaching certificate course that you paid the registration and paid the examination fee, which is more than even 1,000 Canadian dollars, because 760 Canadian dollars plus 300 to 400 Canadian dollars is going to 1,100 and something, or 1,002 Canadian dollars. So I made a mistake there, and the money that you have to pay for the IELTS Academia is not even included. So there are many, I will say 1,500 to be in a safer side, because you still have to register every year 170 Canadian dollars in the Teachers Union for the license to, maintain the license you have gotten. Now, teaching have license in this Canada. You will now have this license, and without the license, you cannot work as a teacher. Let me say that hopefully you've passed the exams, you've passed the whole test, your IELTS test, Academia, your maths proficiency test, everything. You've passed the teaching certificate course, everything, you have passed it, and you got your result. Then you have to include that provincial certificate and your offer letter and apply. Then you will get the 600 max distance to get your express entry PR. It's when you get this your PR that you can now go to Canada and become a teacher. Okay. In the pilot scheme, there are 3 ways you can apply for job as a teacher. There are 3 ways you can apply for this direct entry as a teacher. I will tell you now. Number 1 is from express entry, I have explained, and the certification. Number 2 is PMP. If you're going through PMP, you need the teaching license, you need the you don't need the job offer letter. You need your IETS, you need your maths proficiency test. You need 3 things with your B.Ed certificate and transcript. You apply direct to pilot program, which is PMP program. I have explained it in this YouTube, and I will tag the link of many of the pilot program I have talked about in most of the province. Then, if you can get it through with the PMP, then the province have to adopt you as a teacher and now send your paperwork to Express Entry Department, IRCC. That's Immigration and Refugee Canada. They will now send it there, and they get your PR. They send it to you. Start coming to Canada to look for teaching in that province. Remember, you have to get a provincial certification, and that's the only province you have to work on. Remember that before you now come and start looking elsewhere. When you come, you work in that province. If it's Ontario that gave you the provincial certification to work as a teacher, you have to work in that province. Remember that. Then the third one is pilot program. There are many provinces that are doing pilot program. It's the same process. You submit these 5 requirements and your license, your transcript, your B.Ed, your IETS, your mass proficiency test, and your teaching license. And the pilot program will give you the certificates to now apply to the Canada immigration to get your PR. So, which means there are 3 ways to get PR as a teacher. Number 1 is express entry. Number 2 is PMP program. Number 3 is pilot program. So, if you have done your teaching course certification to be able to teach in Canada with your B.Ed qualification and your transcript ready, your IETS is ready, your math proficiency test is ready, and you're having issues getting PR for whatever reason it is, I don't know, and you're still having problems, then you can go to George Brown University and apply to a course in education and come into Canada through that route. You will get a job within a week you arrive. You don't need PR again. You will not be in the country as a student to now get a PR as a teacher because you have everything. You have your license, you have everything. Number 2, you don't need to write all these exams and pay all these 750 from your line. Okay, let me say, for instance, you're in South Africa. You want to come in as a teacher, but you don't have money to go through this process that you don't know whether they will give you PR. Like you have a double mind and something is not sitting well with you. You don't understand the rigorous this thing. Instead of you to now go and be doing teaching license from your home country, doing IETS, doing this, you apply to this George Brown University and come as a top-up student in education certification. When you come in as a non-student, then you can now start processing that, which means you will be in Canada working, using the money you're working as a student to get some certification, which will even help you. Because now, with that certificate you will get in this George Brown University, you have increased your Canadian experience. So you've increased your points. So getting PR will not be so hard. Okay, now in Nigeria, you did national education qualification like NCE, National College of Education. You did anything in National College of Education. Don't bother about this rigorous distance, or don't bother about applying as assistant distance. Apply in this George Brown University to do a course, a bachelor degree on that education course subject you want to teach. Then come in. Why do I say only George Brown University? George Brown University is the university that handles Canadian teaching qualification exam. So if you're a teacher, target George Brown University. That is the university that have mandate or power or authority or rights to offer this teaching license. So all the exams you're writing about teaching license, provincial certification comes from this university. That is why George Brown University is important in this topic. Remember, if you are coming as a George Brown students that did NCE. Remember the things you have to bear in mind. You have to bear in mind that you have to pay school fees to finish your course. So there's still costs through that. But why I would prefer that, if you ask me, for teachers that with NCE, is that coming to Canada to do B.Ed will give you some Canadian experience that will help you in your points, in your CRS points. So, and the CRS points you have to get code for teachers is 8. So with Canadian experience and Canadian education, it will be more easy to get to that point. But if you already have Bachelor of Education in teaching in any teaching subject, or in any subject that you're teaching whatsoever, you now have to start processing your teaching license from your home country. Remember, this course and the registration and everything, and the to open accounts in this teaching license is 760 Canadian dollars. Then to write this exam, that is 3 to 6 months, is 300 to 400 Canadian dollars. So there's still a cost. In any way you want to go through, there's still costs that you have to bear as a teacher. Okay, if you ask me, what can I advise somebody in Nigeria with B.Ed, or somebody in South Africa or in Cameroon, Ghana, that have been waiting for the PR and is not coming, is to apply for any education course. If you've already done B.Ed, you can apply to do masters, 1-year masters in education courses in George Brown University, because the school fees are reasonable. It's 10,000 Canadian dollars with, I think, 2,000 something Canadian dollars deposit. That is if you ask me, so that your journey can be easy. Because with your certificate in B.Ed and the masters in this school that runs the teaching programs and teaching license and certification course for teachers in Canada, you will have a better chance, because the point-based system of this direct entry to get PR in Canada is based on the points. The higher the degree, the better the points. Remember, you have to factor age. So to avoid wasting time or trying to waste for another program, teaching program, either in PMP or pilot program or those and that, those things, it's better you go to George Brown University after watching this video. You check the course you can do, the courses that can get you here. The STEM courses are always, science and technology, blah, 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 are always, needed in that space. So, what is this teacher's salary in Canada? It's from 23 Canadian dollar to 32 Canadian dollars per hour if you're teaching outside the cities, wealthy cities. Like in obviously, if you're living in a city, your living costs will be expensive. So you need to understand that if you're even applying for teaching role, you have to check it. So I don't know how much is Canadian dollar, but what it means is that you'll be earning up to 30,000 naira per hour as a teacher in Canada. Or I think 20,000 to 30 something thousand per hour, because the cities pay almost 40 Canadian dollars 40 Canadian dollars. I don't know how much, because Nigeria, our naira is so small now. I don't know, because if they are paying 40 Canadian dollars per hour, it should be like almost 35 Canadian dollars, 35,000 naira per hour. So that's quite a money. That's quite money, good money in teaching in Canada. So you have to weigh the school fees, and if you're coming through, that you want to come as a student through this George Brown University, it's a very good investment for that will have a good ROI. If you ask me, I would say give it a try. If you have an NCE certificate, give it a try, because with 2,000 you can have a deposit of to come here. When you start working and paying your bills, you can start looking at writing the exams and all that. But if you're coming as a, and most of the things you need then will be so you can afford it because you're in Canada working. Unlike somebody that is in Nigeria changing currency, or teacher in Nigeria changing currency, when you come here as a student, you will find funding most of the things easy for you. So if you ask me, I would say, instead of you wasting time, because even the direct entry and all this program, they look at age. Although PMP and all this pilot scheme nominee program said that is from 18 to 55 years in some certain instance. I don't, because in entry direct entry based system, you have to, the age, once you hit 35, your points start reducing. I know what I'm saying. So if you are now in, no matter your age, you don't want to go, you are above 30, I will advise you to go to George Brown University, get a education certification course there, then come in and start processing all these things. It will be better that you're in Canada than being outside Canada and you're already 30, 35, going to 40 years. Ask anybody in Canada, your points-based system will be reducing. As the age goes up, the point-based system reduces, because they need younger and active workers. So if you ask me, I will say, pay attention, go through like, what I mean, go through George Brown University. If you're already above 30, going to 35, 40, go through George Brown University. Now you have it. You have all the requirements. You have all the things you need. And you can see it in the screen. You can apply now, and you can look up George Brown University at home and see what you can get there, and see the subject that suits your area of teaching specialization, and move on from there. And thank you for sticking with me. And you know how we do it here. And I want to thank you for watching till this minute. And please subscribe, share with your family, friends, mates, and even your co-workers. Tell them about Womiba. We bring unfiltered, content here. I go straight to the point, and I give you all the authentic, well-researched points in this channel. And I will be glad if you can help us spread the message, so that we can get more people informed about what is going on, in Canada or anywhere else in Western world, and the job offers, how to manage their money as migrants, and how to cope while they are working, and their financial pillars, and how to strengthen them. Okay, thank you for sticking with me till this time, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Don't forget, subscribe and keep that your notification button on for quality contents. Thank you so much. Bye bye.